Let me just confess right out of the gate that I am somebody who thrives on reward. I like to know if I'm going to put my effort into something that there's going to be some payoff. We don't usually like to admit that. It's something that makes us feel a little less than noble, if you will. Psychologist B.F. Skinner a long time ago came up with this philosophy or this theory that we could be trained like animals because we have this desire for reward, and that kind of led to some pretty wacky things like electric shock therapy and other ways in which we were supposed to just modify our behaviors on the surface. But I like the honesty of the scriptures. The question that comes to us is, when do we need the most hope in life? And it's when things look the least hopeful. That's when it's obviously the most difficult to endure. James 1 tells us, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial. For when he stood the test, he'll receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him." So when things are difficult, we need simple instructions. We need to pay attention to that one voice who's directing us and pointing us in the right place. And James doesn't fail us. He simply says, don't quit. Trials are going to come to all of us on multiple occasions. Jesus taught things like the rain falls on the just and the unjust alike out of Matthew 5. And then a couple chapters later, he says the winds blow and the rains fall upon the house of even the wisest amongst us. We don't avoid trials, but we can avoid the shame of not holding our head high in the midst of those trials. None of us want to be that person who choked in the moment of our testing, but so many of us do. Why is that? What James is indicating to us is that it's because we don't desire the crown of life, that which is promised to us by God, more than the alleviation of our difficulty. Enduring hardships comes down to a simple formula. Desire God's crown of reward more than the ease of life, and then you're going to receive that joy that he has been pleased with you. You see, this focus serves as an anchor to our boat that wants to be tossed around by the waves of trial. We just saw this a few verses earlier in James chapter 1. We need an anchor of truth to keep us steady. And James says that the truth that weighs us down is the promise of God's pleasure for all who endure faithfully. So the question is, do you believe that that's enough to hang on to? God bless you, Faith.